Something pretty wild is happening in the world of artificial intelligence, and it involves a player you might not expect. The US Air Force. They're making a massive move into AI, but they're not doing it with jets or satellites. They're doing it with land. Yep, their land. Let's dig into what's going on here, because it's a pretty surprising initiative.
So when we say land, how much are we really talking about here? Get this, about 3,000 acres. To give you an idea of just how big that is, we're talking about more than 4 square miles. That is an absolutely enormous footprint, and the Air Force is now basically opening it up for business.
And right away, that just brings up the big question, doesn't it? Why? Why would a branch of the military start leasing out its real estate for private companies to build AI data centers? I mean, you just don't see Air Force bases turning into tech hubs every day. Okay, so let's get into the nitty-gritty of the deal itself. Because make no mistake, this isn't just some simple real estate transaction. It's a really strategic play, and it's all about pushing American innovation into high gear. So here's the headline. The Air Force looked around, found a bunch of underused land on 5 of its bases, and is now putting out a giant welcome mat for private companies. They want them to come in, build and run massive data centers specifically for AI, right there on military property.
So, what is the driving force behind this kind of unprecedented partnership? Well, it turns out the motivation for this is coming straight from the top.
And we don't have to guess, we can hear it straight from the horse's mouth. Robert Moriarty of the Air Force lays it out pretty clearly. He says, look, AI is transforming the modern world, and these data centers are crucial for America to remain at the forefront of innovation. So the logic is simple, right? If AI is the future, then the infrastructure that powers it, well, that becomes a national priority. And this whole idea didn't just pop up out of thin air. You can draw a straight line from a presidential executive order back in July, one that specifically said, hey, let's use public lands to boost AI development, right to this official proposal from the Air Force. So this is them acting on that directive, and they're moving fast.
All right, so we get the why. Now let's talk about the where. Exactly which Air Force bases are involved in this plan?
And wow, when you see the list, one location just jumps right off the page. You've got 5 bases in total, but look at Edwards Air Force Base in California, more than 2,000 acres. The other 4 spots, in Arizona, Tennessee, Georgia, and New Jersey, are all under 300 acres each. I mean, Edwards is the whole ballgame here. It makes up over 2/3 of the entire pot.
Now, as you can probably guess, a project this huge comes with some pretty serious rules. The Air Force isn't just letting anyone throw their hat in the ring. So let's break down what it actually takes to even get a proposal looked at.
First things first, money. The price of entry here is a cool $500 million. Yep, to even be considered, any proposed project has to be valued at a minimum of $500 million. That tells you everything, doesn't it? They're not looking for small-scale tests. They want massive, state-of-the-art facilities from day one.
Then there's the power requirement. And this is just staggering. Each data center needs to be able to pull down at least 100 megawatts of power. That is an immense amount of energy. We're talking enough to power a small city, and it just shows you the sheer industrial scale of AI processing they're planning for.
And get this isn't some short-term experiment. The Air Force is structuring these leases to run for 50 years. 50! Just let that sink in for a second. This is a long-term, multi-generational commitment, embedding private tech infrastructure on military land for literally decades to come.
Now, here are 2 really crucial details to this deal. First, this isn't a giveaway. Companies have to pay fair market value for the land. But second, and this is the part that gets really fascinating, the AI work they do in these centers doesn't actually have to be defense-related at all. It can be for purely commercial products and services. What a twist.
All right, so with rules like that, who is actually eligible to bid? And just how quickly is all of this going to happen? Let's take a look at the process.
The Air Force is being crystal clear on this one. They are only looking for the established heavy hitters. To even get in the door, a company has to prove they already have a solid track record of building major AI data centers. This is a game for the true giants of the tech industry.
And they are not messing around with the timeline. It is aggressive. Proposals are due by November 14th. The Air Force will then review all the bids with plans to announce the winners sometime after the first of the year. This whole thing is moving from concept to reality in just a matter of months.
And that leaves us with the big final thought, doesn't it? This is a massive experiment, and it's really blurring the lines between national security and commercial technology.
So, the biggest question isn't just who will win these leases, but what new chapter of innovation is about to be written on military soil. It's going to be fascinating to watch, that's for sure.